I'm here in San Diego Comic-Con with John Jackson Miller, the author of the upcoming novel Kenobi from Del Rey, and also the author of the Knight Errant comics and the Lost Tribe of the Sith stories. How are you doing today, John?
I'm holding up.
You're holding
How's
up.
everybody out there in YouTube or internet land?
Yeah, it's Star Wars Day at Comic-Con Day 2. We're still hanging on. You had fun at the Del Rey party last night?
Yes, and then the Star Wars fan breakfast this morning, and just got out of the Dark Horse Comics panel, and about to head into the Star Wars novels panel. So it's we're catching an interview here real quick.
All right, and then so tell us more about Kenobi.
All right, Kenobi releases in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook on August 27th. It is my first hardcover. It is a story I actually began writing 7 years ago as a graphic novel proposal for Dark Horse. The notion was to try to write Star Wars as a Western, where it's Ben Kenobi arrives on Tatooine, realizes he's basically stuck here, can't leave. He's got to watch the kid, Luke Skywalker, and he cannot, just go around being a Jedi in public, waving the lightsaber and being heroic. The problem is this runs counter to his normal intentions, and he has to learn how to stop being Obi-Wan Kenobi and start being crazy old Ben. This story deals with that. It deals with some of the questions people have had over the years about how it was that he took the name Ben Kenobi in public, even though he was trying to hide his identity. As we'll find, it wasn't entirely intentional that his name got out. It deals with things like how he learns about the desert, how he learns about the Tusken Raiders, how he learns about the various ins and outs of existing on this world. And it also delves into his anguish, really, over the fact that all of his friends are dead, and that his best friend is dead at his own hands, or so he believes. And it is about a man coming to terms with the fact that if Luke Skywalker is the new hope, then he is the hope that failed Ben Kenobi. His role anymore is to he's lost the big battle. He can only try and protect the future.
Wow, that's kind of an angle that we hadn't really seen. Is the Jedi have failed, and yet he's got to raise the future.
That's right.
Hope and being alone in the desert, I'm sure gives him a lot of time to reflect on
That's right.
what the heck happened.
That's right. And as I said, I worked on this several years ago. Got through 3 drafts that got successively longer and longer and longer, to the point where I realized, okay, this is a novel here. This is going to be so much of it happens internally. With the characters, we see Obi-Wan through the eyes, and in one case through the Tusken Raider lens of 3 different individuals who are a part of the society that he's in now, and so it's not as though we don't hear things from Obi-Wan's point of view. We do. In some monologues that he has, where he's talking to Qui-Gon, or he's trying to talk to Qui-Gon. But in general, this is a lot more about how Ben affects these other people that he's met, and how they are affected, how he is affected by them. And so the opportunity to do it as a novel came up last year. Frank Parisi and Shelley Shapiro at Del Rey suggested that we go ahead with it, and I am very pleased that we were able to do so.
Cool. All right, now that the helicopter is past, and so what were you saying about episode 7?
I'm saying I don't know anything about it.
All right, so with using Kenobi as a Western, what elements from Westerns might we see, or what particular themes from Westerns are you incorporating?
There are a number of Westerns. Obviously, the most famous one in this regard is Shane, where you've got the former gunfighter who moves to a place to try to settle down and stay out of sight. And of course, in that movie, the character ends up moving right into the middle of the Johnson County War, and is forced to become who he is, at least for a time. So there's that element, but there's also some of the things that it also resonate are stranger in a strange land kind of stories, stranger in a small town kind of stories. I live in a small town. I am from a big city. I kind of have internalized some of these dynamics over the years. We've seen them in TV shows like Northern Exposure and Balakis Angel, and movies like Doc Hollywood, where the guy from the metropolis is plopped down in the middle of nowhere, and we have these figures that are archetypal for these kinds of stories. The wise woman who knows the ways of the world out here, and then of course there's the older male, who represents power and authority in the area and wants to make sure that the status quo isn't upset.
Right.
So we have all of that, and I think it's a fun story. It's a different kind of story. We don't have any space battles. We don't have any. There's no lightsaber duels because there's not a second person on the planet with a lightsaber. So it is different, but the response so far has been really good.
Yeah, I've quite a few people on the internet have gotten advanced copies, and they're saying a lot of good things about it.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah. What else you got in the pipe?
Well, and on the prose side, this is kind of fun. I have my first Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing a Star Trek ebook for Simon and Schuster Pocket
Titan
Books.
series, right?
It's in the Titan series, and that's the ship that is captained by Will Riker, and that crew, because everybody's in different crews in that part of the timeline now. That crew includes his wife Deanna, and also Tuvok, who was the science officer back on
Voyager.
On Voyager, finally got home just in time to go off again with the Titan. So they're a fun cast to write. That is called Absent Enemies. We don't have a release date for that yet. But it's a novella. It gives me a chance to get my feet wet in that universe, and it's something I've always wanted to do. I also have over at Dark Horse, unusual project for me. I had the chance to do a Conan story for Robert E. Howard's Savage Sword.
Neat.
I'm joined on that by Philip Tan, who was my artist on Iron Man years ago. He was one of the artists that I had back at Marvel. First time we've done anything like that together. First time I've done any sword and sorcery without the lightsabers for professional work. Just a fun change of pace for me. And then of course I also have this year I started doing my own works, coming out on as I write this on Tuesday, so it should be out available now. Is Overdraft. Overdraft is a science fiction. I guess now a novel. We released it originally as a Kindle serial where it was several thousand words coming out every 2 weeks. It is now graduated to a completed edition, so it can be purchased as an ebook or as a physical book from Amazon, and it's also being distributed to a large number of distributors as well. Overdraft, the Orion Offensive, folks can find the link to that on my website, farawaypress.com, or can simply go directly to the landing page for amzn.to/overdraft1 and numeral 1. And it's a fun series of stories because I got to do something that is actually in an earthly setting, or at least in our solar system or in our galaxy, as opposed to a galaxy far, far away. It is set about 125 years in the future, in a world in which humanity has reached the stars and found that they're open for business. It's a very commercial centric cosmos that we found out there. Lots of trading, and obviously a lot of the institutions of humanity adapt very quickly to this. And one of those institutions, of course, is fraud, and because we have a Wall Street style trader who trades for an expedition, who goes off the rails at his desktop and basically.
He kind of shorts with nothing to back him up.
Well, he does a number of things that bankrupts his expedition, and the armor wearing bodyguards, the support team, the mercenaries that are out there on the fringe find out that this has happened, and they decide that they're not going to go gently into unemployment. They come back to the solar system, they grab him, and they say, okay, you're going to get all of our money back. We're going to draft you into service as a trader, working in the most dangerous places that we can find to get the most money that we can possibly get to cover your overdraft, and that is Overdraft, the Orion Offensive.
Yeah, which I've been reading. As a serial, it is a lot of fun. That one of the things that you bring to Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic is that you can bring a sense of humor into it, and that definitely shows in Overdraft.
And it was fun for me to try to create a I got to create the conventions of the cosmos and how the science works and everything.
Yeah, the whole whirly bang convention for space travel.
Yeah, we don't have we don't have faster than light travel that allows gigantic spaceships to go along. Everything is about limited to the size of maybe twice the size of a railroad car. And so, you're shipping starships and cargo around very much like what we do with rail cars or containers on ships.
We have a container ship out here.
Ship out there.
There was one yesterday.
But in my visualization,
there's a sailing ship. I don't think that's right.
Well, in my visualization, the boxes that come in through the Whirlabang are basically tugged to Earth and probably immediately placed on container ships or on rails, for traffic around the planet. And so there's that size limit that's in place there. Also, and this takes us back to the realm of sailing ships, we have a limitation in that there is no instantaneous communication. So you don't have any idea whether your expedition got to Arcturus or whatever planet whatever star you're going to
until somebody comes back.
And that was exactly how it was in the days of the East India Company, where the investors would wait to get word back, often not from the ships that they sent out originally, but packets of mail would come back from other people.
Right.
And so that is a lot of fun. As we discover, humanity is not entirely welcome out there, and we already have announced in the back of that story that there is more coming. I'm still working on what format and where that's going to come out and when.
Oh, cool.
But I was fortunate to be able to release, and I think we released them. We released them earlier this year as a web exclusive.
Yep.
But now it's actually available on Amazon that people can get Human Error, which is the short story prequel. I've configured that as an ebook, and so just for 99 cents, people can get their first taste of that. That story's up there.
There we go.
Yep.
Well, cool. Anything else you wanted to tell us?
It's great to be in San Diego, and again, that novel is coming out on August 27th. If anybody is in the Memphis area, that we're going to have our debut. Our sort of book launch party is at the booksellers at Laurelwood, which is the big independent bookseller at Poplar and Perkins Avenue in the middle of town.
All right.
And hopefully see a lot of folks we know.
Yeah. And one of the cool things for Kenobi that they're doing here at Comic-Con, not only do they have the big poster that people can go behind, but they also have a really cool freebie that Erish at Delray envisioned.
I have the poster. That's the story.
Hey, we got the poster.
Kenobi.
Look at.
And I wish I had the freebie because I keep giving them away.
I got one here.
Oh, that's wonderful, especially with our panel coming up. I'll probably borrow that.
Yeah, all right. Here. I'm going to try and unclip it. Or I will just pause this. Okay, let's record. Okay, here's the freebie.
So one of the plot points in Star Wars Kenobi involves where Obi-Wan Kenobi got the idea to use a crate dragon call to scare off the Tusken Raiders. As it happens, the settlers have organized something called the Settlers' Call, which is sort of their early warning system or their
Incoming
tornado,
Tuscans.
civil defense sirens or whatever. And it happens that one particularly clever group of people has decided to use the recorded sounds of a Tuscan, or not a Tuscan, but a crate dragon, which, and that is in fact the sound. We got the original sound from the original crate dragon from the movie, the pre special edition, pre digital edition.
Yeah, I think Leland dug that out of the archives.
Leland dug that out, and I have found that it's hard to hear in the convention floor, but when you're outside, it's not quiet. It's quite loud, and in fact, I had a handful of them, and they accidentally all went off at once, and I can just see that happening at the airport trying to go out. I'm sure people wonder what's going on because it sounds like a woolly mammoth screaming. And,
all right,
and we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for being out here today with us in Comic-Con.
And thank you, James.
All right.